Travis Wesley experienced the most terrible day imaginable. It's not every day your beloved wife of 23 years tells you she's going out with other men, starting tonight. Travis sat quietly at the kitchen table, gripping a glass of monkey shoulder scotch. For 10 minutes, he didn't drink a drop of the amber liquid. He just sat there, staring ahead blankly, not really seeing or hearing anything, but definitely feeling a sharp ache within him. Travis knew no amount of Alka-Seltzer could relieve the pain gnawing at his stomach. He'd heard tales of other men's wives mentioning going out with other men, but he'd always dismissed it as nothing more than a city legend. How could a woman assume her devoted husband would accept her dating someone else? Other men? He couldn't fathom how a woman could be so callous towards her own husband, so blatantly selfish in her desires. This occurred on Monday, yet it was a pleasant day at Travis's workplace. He left around 5 in high spirits, whistling as he entered the house. Still feeling cheerful, he discovered his wife seated at the kitchen table, enjoying a glass of red wine and his favorite whiskey. Taking his usual spot, he set down his briefcase, poured 3 fingers of the liquid, and settled into his chair. "What's on your mind, Lauren?" Travis inquired, noting a sly grin on her face. She met his gaze squarely, her grin slightly mischievous. What he discerned in her eyes wasn't promising. He shifted uncomfortably in his seat. "Do you reckon I've been a good wife and mother all these years, Trav?" she asked, completely composed. Travis furrowed his brow. Aware of his introspective nature, she could almost see the gears turning in his head before he replied, "Yes, I believe so." "And do you think I deserve some form of recognition for it?" she continued in the same impassive tone. Travis took a few more moments to ponder the question carefully. "So, should I expect a reward for doing what's expected of a good husband and father? Why are you even asking me this, Lauren?" he snapped irritably. "Travis, today I'd like to go out on a date with another man," she stated calmly, as serene as a lake on a perfect morning. Travis was grateful to be seated. He felt a surge of bile creeping up his throat. His mind was like an erased blackboard, utterly blank as he struggled to process her request to go on a date with another man. Lauren regarded her husband with a look that made him feel like a foolish child, and she nodded slowly. "Yes, with another man, Trav. It's been 24 years since you and I became exclusive, and I haven't dated anyone else since then. I've been a loyal wife and devoted mother to our children, and I believe I deserve a night out with someone else. Just a chance to experience something new. Not seeking love, but seeking pleasure. Just lovemaking," she explained. "I'm 47, and I won't be attractive forever. I want to explore other options while I'm still desirable and can have them at my fingertips." Travis's jaw slowly dropped in disbelief. He knew he had heard his wife correctly, but surely she couldn't be serious, could she? He didn't even need to voice the question. Lauren nodded at him as though she could read his thoughts. "Damn," he muttered, as she rose from the table and ascended the stairs to change clothes. Descending moments later, Lauren looked stunning in a little black dress that hugged her figure. It featured a daring cutout revealing part of her chest without a bra, and it barely reached mid-thigh in length. Her makeup was subtle. A beautiful woman needed little adornment, and her long blonde hair was pulled back into a high ponytail. It was a sight to behold. Lauren noticed that at that moment, her husband was completely under her spell. "I won't allow this, Lauren," Travis declared, rising from his seat. "I don't know what you're thinking or what you're up to, but you won't go through with this while still being my wife." Lauren's bright smile twisted into a bitter grin. "You won't spoil my evening, Trav. You can talk tough, but deep down, you know you won't divorce me over this. Where else will you find a woman like me? You know it's true, and the kids will be furious with you for tearing our family apart. Toughen up, Travis. Let me enjoy myself for a while, and then it'll just be you and me again, growing old together. You love me, Travis. You don't want to be alone while I have plenty of options." A car horn honked outside. Grabbing a small bag, Lauren moved towards Travis, attempting to kiss him goodbye. He recoiled as if jolted by an electric shock, stepping aside. Lauren looked momentarily surprised and hurt. Then her expression hardened into anger. "I'll be back, maybe." As she mentioned leaving, he watched in horror as she exited through the door. Could his 23-year marriage really be ending? That's what it seemed like, he pondered. Lauren didn't even glance back at him as she departed. Researchers have confirmed a sad but undeniable reality. Individuals blessed with good looks often have an advantage in life over their more average peers. They easily form friendships, attract more attention, and even receive better grades from teachers. In Lauren's case, this proved true and only intensified when she turned 13 and fully developed her bosom. She quickly learned that a flutter of her eyelashes and a smile could win over almost any boy she desired. And for those boys who played hard to get, she simply emphasized her physical attributes a little more, sealing the deal. Like virtually every boy she encountered, Travis fell under Lauren's charm almost immediately upon meeting her. His family relocated to the city just before he started 8th grade. Meeting Lauren on his first day of school, he was instantly captivated. Travis, a talented athlete who was popular among his peers, eventually gathered the courage to invite Lauren on a high school date, and she accepted. They began dating and stayed together until the initial weeks of their junior year in the local high school. That's when Lauren ended things with the young man to pursue Landon Estes Jr., a starting player on the school's football team. At that time, Travis stood at 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighed 110 pounds, whereas Estes was 6 feet 2 inches tall and 190 pounds. Despite feeling hurt, Travis acknowledged the situation. He understood that Lauren was on a different level in terms of looks. In fact, most of the boys at school couldn't compete with her in that regard. Because Lauren was romantically involved with a football player, she socialized with the popular crowd at school, while Travis remained one of the many anonymous figures roaming the hallways. He dated and befriended a few selected students, but had no interaction with Lauren during his school years. He noticed that on the rare occasions they crossed paths, she treated him as if he were a total stranger. Initially angered by this, Travis eventually came to terms with it. By his senior year, Travis had grown 2 inches taller and gained 40 pounds. He was a handsome and athletic young man, though he didn't quite measure up to Lauren. But then again, few did. He attended prom with his attractive but not exceptional girlfriend. That night, they both lost their pureness to each other. Lauren was crowned prom queen, while her date was named prom king. They also had lovemaking after graduating. However, prior to this, she wasn't a maiden. Sometimes she manipulated situations to her advantage. Lovemaking was always part of the equation for any guy fortunate enough to date Lauren. After high school, Travis pursued accounting at Michigan State University. Over the course of his 4 years there, he dated several girls but didn't engage in any serious relationships. Meanwhile, Lauren studied marketing at Central Michigan University. She dated and slept with numerous men during her college years, even becoming involved with a marketing professor to improve a B to an A. After years of being desired, Lauren had become highly adept at the game. Through sheer coincidence, they both landed jobs in Grand Rapids after college. Nearly a year post-graduation, Travis and several co-workers were unwinding on a Friday night at a popular bar and restaurant when Lauren entered with 2 companions. All eyes immediately turned to the striking woman in the short green dress with a plunging neckline. Lauren hardly acknowledged the attention. By then, it had become routine for her. "Who's that goddess?" Steve White exclaimed to the entire table of co-workers. Without pause, Travis instinctively responded, "Ladies and gentlemen, meet Lauren Soames, goddess, and my middle school sweetheart." Every head at the table turned from the woman to Travis, many gaping in surprise. "Do you know her?" one incredulously asked. Travis winced, disliking any attention drawn to himself. "We were about 14. Once high school started, I became invisible, and she ignored me for all 4 years," he muttered quietly. "So, got any juicy stories from back then?" quipped one of the women at the table, prompting laughter from the group. This caught Lauren and her friend's attention. For a moment, she thought she recognized one of the men at the table, but she wasn't certain. The trio took a seat nearby, with Lauren facing the table of the vaguely familiar man. "Dude, why not go over and say hi?" White urged. "You're practically drooling, Steve," joked Casey Gardello, another colleague. "She acted like she didn't know me for 4 years. I don't get why she'd remember me now," Travis muttered, nodding in agreement with several others. Meanwhile, Lauren observed the man while enjoying her meal. Then, she snapped her fingers and pointed at him. "It's not wise, Lauren," cautioned one of her friends. "Pointing at someone in a restaurant could lead to trouble in certain places." She paid no heed to her friend's comment. "I'll be back shortly," she declared. "I need to greet an old friend." Lauren practically leaped from her chair and strode over to Travis's table. "Trav, hello. So happy to see you," Lauren exclaimed as she approached him. Travis rolled his eyes at his friends before turning to face his former classmate with a forced smile. "Lauren, it's nice to see you," Travis responded, almost devoid of emotion. Rising from his seat, Lauren closed the distance between them and tenderly kissed Travis on the lips, placing her hands on his shoulders. Their colleagues sat in disbelief. Travis, too, was taken aback. Lauren noticed and flashed him a smile that wasn't entirely innocent. She felt at ease playing this game, knowing he couldn't reciprocate. "Let's head back to our table. I'll introduce you to my friends," she suggested, taking his hand and practically pulling him along. He spent most of the evening with Lauren and her two friends. Before leaving, Lauren took his phone, added her number, and kept his for herself. Lauren found it intriguing that Travis appeared indifferent to her. It was a new experience for her. He was polite in the restaurant, but divided his attention equally between her and her friends throughout the evening. Though she kissed him several times, he never responded. On Monday morning, Travis's co-workers at the bar questioned him about his interaction with the stunning woman and were shocked when he revealed he stayed at the bar for only an hour before heading home. "She's impressive, but she's out of my league by about 14 levels. "I get it," he grumbled. "I don't need that kind of drama." Travis encountered a similar distress in the parking lot at his workplace 2 days later as he left work. He muttered to himself upon spotting her waiting by the car, though he reluctantly acknowledged that, dressed in a size too small, she exuded undeniable allure. "Why didn't you call, Trav?" she murmured softly as he approached. Travis fought the urge to widen his eyes as he scanned Lauren's figure like a starving man glimpsing his first meal in weeks. Her low-cut top was unbuttoned down to her cleavage, and the hem hovered just about 5 centimeters below her waist. "Damn," he muttered under his breath, as she leaned in to wrap her arms around his neck and plant a kiss on his lips. He found himself powerless as she pressed against him, his hand instinctively slipping around her waist, inadvertently grazing her backside clad in underwear as her dress rode up. Her tongue slid into his mouth like a serpent, and abandoning his briefcase, he seized her other part of rear, the kiss extending indefinitely. After what felt like minutes, they parted, and Lauren readjusted her dress to conceal her undergarments. Several colleagues, stunned, quickly departed in their cars. They dined at a restaurant outside the city center, enjoying their meal. Though Lauren frequently tugged at her dress, both Travis and the young waitress appeared entertained by her struggle. Travis remained cautious of Lauren, but in the presence of a seductively dressed goddess, he was defenseless. His best hope was to perform admirably in bed that night. "Oh my God," Travis murmured to himself as he gazed at the undressed Lauren for the first time. This woman was the goddess Travis had always envisioned. If this was his only chance to give it his all, he had to ensure that lust didn't overshadow his emotions. Sated, they lay facing each other, locking eyes. Lauren grinned lasciviously. "I made a huge mistake years ago," she whispered. "You're incredible. Who knew? If only I'd realized. We've wasted so many years, Trav." Lauren recognized potential when she saw it. Though Travis didn't match her in looks, he was handsome, fit, and seemed destined for success, and he excelled in bed. "I thought she was speaking to herself," Travis admitted. Despite Travis's reservations, primarily about her self-esteem, their relationship flourished. While her physical beauty was evident, he gradually fell for the person Lauren truly was. "I purchased an engagement ring, but before proposing, we sat down to discuss our views on fidelity," Travis stated as they settled at the table for a serious conversation. "What occurred in the past remains there. The same applies to me, but I need clarity about the future. Moving forward, I want full exclusivity between us. No exceptions. If you doubt your ability to commit to this for us, I need to know now." He placed a small black box on the table between them. Lauren locked eyes with Travis, then glanced at the box. "I will never betray my husband, never," she declared as Travis opened the box. Travis recalled her words. Apparently, his wife didn't consider this betrayal, given the advance warning. He knew that wasn't the case. She hoped he would interpret it that way, because if he didn't, he wasn't truly accepting it. Travis knew Lauren had countless opportunities to stray over the years, yet as far as he knew, she'd rejected them all, as a faithful wife should. She was a perfect 10, no, a 12, while he considered himself a 6 at best, leaving plenty of room for someone more physically compatible to catch her eye. Assuming she didn't have an affair I'm unaware of, she's been a true wife for 23 years, Travis pondered. He should have been grateful for those years, but he wasn't. When he said, "I love you," he meant forever, not just a paltry 23 years. In fact, not a week went by without Lauren receiving proposals, not just from men, Travis added. She knew she wasn't just beautiful, she was extraordinary, a rare goddess among the merely beautiful. When God crafted his wife, he had an exceptional day, Travis always joked. Initially, Lauren would inform Travis whenever she faced unwanted attention, aiming for full transparency. Yet after a few years, Travis assured her that he trusted her enough not to disclose everything. He only wished to be informed if the unwelcome advances persisted after her initial rejection, so he could intervene if necessary. Conversely, women rarely approached Travis, partly because he used his wedding ring almost like a shield. Within moments of meeting a woman, Travis would enthusiastically discuss his wife and children, effectively dousing any potential interest. Unbeknownst to him, this behavior often deterred potential flirtations. Lauren remained oblivious to how her husband's actions shut down advances, or worse. Their almost fairy tale marriage endured for 22 years, until Rosa Esposito entered their professional realm, working at the same public relations firm as Lauren. Described akin to a Bob Seger song, Rosa captivated with her dark hair, big brown eyes, and ample bosom, drawing men like a magnet. Despite her potential at superior solutions, she remained a loyal assistant to Lauren, who was deemed the love-makingest woman around. At 42, Rose had been married for 15 years, but professed her dissatisfaction with matrimony. She openly shared tales of her extramarital escapades, painting vivid pictures of passionate encounters with various partners. "So you've never strayed since you got hitched? You seem like a rock-solid woman, but I find it hard to believe you don't crave something more," Rose remarked during a coffee break at work. "Well, I'm not saying I'm not curious, but I'd never betray Travis," Lauren responded. In recent months, she noticed a decline in attention from men at bars and restaurants, with younger women often receiving the looks she once commanded, sparking doubts about her allure. "Let's play the what-if game. What if your hubby gave you the green light? Then what?" Rose inquired. Lauren's expression revealed she had never contemplated such a scenario before. Thoughts raced through her mind. "I suppose if I had his blessing, it would change everything," Lauren admitted with a mischievous grin. "Ever thought about asking for it?" Rose suggested. "They say everything worth having is worth asking for." Lauren had never considered this possibility before. Her face flickered with intrigue before darkening with uncertainty. "He'll never grant me permission. Never," Lauren asserted. "Should I do everything for you?" asked Rose. "Implicit permission. Tell him, then take what you want, regardless of his answer. Convince him he loves you enough to allow it, that you can navigate this together. Love isn't the issue. You love only him." Travis stirred at the sound of a car nearing the house, realizing it was past 3 a.m. Glancing at the half-empty bottle of Woodford Reserve, he quipped to Lauren as she entered. "Great night, huh?" He scrutinized the caricature his wife had become. Disheveled hair, absent makeup, rumpled clothes. She seemed more smug than remorseful. "I could say the same to you," she retorted. "You didn't have to wait up. You know I'm going to bed. And you, maybe. But never again with you," he shot back. Lauren shot him a look of disdain and ascended the stairs. Travis poured more bourbon and resumed watching ESPN. He spent the night in his recliner, stomach grumbling. By 9, he prepared breakfast. As he ate, he heard the shower in the master bathroom. Typically, Lauren would descend in a robe, hair wrapped. Today, she emerged impeccably dressed and made up. "Did you leave me anything to eat?" she asked. "I made coffee, but you can cook for yourself. And since you're dressed at home, now's the time to talk," he stated firmly. Lauren was surprised by Travis's stoicism. She had expected him to rage irrationally, easier to manipulate. Rational Travis made conversation more challenging, she realized. "Don't you want to hear about last night?" she asked meekly. Travis detected her air of superiority. Did she truly believe he wanted to hear about being betrayed? Hardly. "I want to know your vision for our marriage moving forward," Travis replied evenly. "As I mentioned yesterday, I plan to explore other men over several years. Just lovemaking, no love. I love only you. But I want the thrill of something new. You're amazing in bed, but I crave variety. I want to experience other men while I'm still desirable. I've devoted 23 years to you without a thought of betrayal. I seek the excitement of the unknown. You're incredible, but I desire some diversity for a while. Then we'll ride into the sunset together, and I'll be grateful for the experience. Spoiling you exclusively for the rest of our days," Lauren explained. Travis listened intently as Lauren spoke, preparing toast and jam for his coffee. He found her manner of buttering toast while discussing his life's most crucial matters rather detached. He had numerous questions. "Is it all about seeking variety? Am I insufficient for you?" he inquired with a strained voice. Before she could respond, he interjected, "So you propose an open marriage for a while, then returning to monogamy later. Does this imply I can see other people too?" Lauren struggled to stifle her giggles. The thought of her sweet, reserved husband asking another woman out was simply amusing. Travis was the most earnest about marriage of any man she had known. However, if this was what it took for him to theoretically agree, then yes, she affirmed. Naturally, I expect it to be purely physical for you as well. Travis raised his eyebrows and shrugged. Lauren didn't grasp the significance of this gesture, but she had an inkling. Would you like to go out with Rose? She's a nice woman from my office. I'm sure she'd be delighted, Lauren proposed, knowing her friend would be willing to help her achieve her goal of remaining married while pursuing other carnal partners. Travis looked perplexed. The lustful 21-year-old bachelor in him desired Rose, but the responsible 47-year-old married man knew he couldn't indulge. I'd be happy to go out with Rose, but no, honey, thank you. That'd make me as much a cheater as you were last night, he stated. Lauren's initially smiling face twisted into a grimace of anger. I am not a cheater, she shouted. Well, if you say so, honey, he responded far more seriously than she anticipated. But I still don't agree to this. You'll come around, honey, because I'm doing it regardless, she retorted. On Monday morning around 11 o'clock, Rose entered Lauren's office and noticed her discontent. To hell with that close-minded fool, Lauren muttered, shutting the door behind Rose. Darn it, he even turned down a date with you, Rose frowned. I didn't realize I was on the table, but forget it. How could he resist this? She remarked, gesturing to her body. How was the date? Did you have fun or did Travis spoil it? Rose inquired. The date was amazing. Jonas certainly knows how to please a woman, Lauren gushed. God, it's been ages since I've been with another man. I definitely appreciated the change. Who do you think I should try next? They both burst into laughter. Lauren found solace in the absence of immediate divorce papers. With minimal interaction between them, she opted not to inquire about Travis's intentions. Unbeknownst to his wife, Travis wasn't eager to rush into divorce. He held on to hope that she'd come to her senses and halt her foolish plans of infidelity. He believed forgiveness and moving past her transgression were possible if she abandoned her reckless pursuits. His optimism grew when Lauren skipped a date the following week. Despite their continued bedroom separation and strained communication, he saw a glimmer of hope. However, on the next Friday evening, Lauren was once again impeccably dressed, seemingly prepared for a date. Are you seriously considering this again with the same guy? Or are you eyeing someone else this week? Travis queried sharply. Damn, Trav, did you not hear anything I said? This isn't about you. It's about me fulfilling desires before I lose my allure. It's not that I want you any less. I just crave more variety. You get it? I'm constantly pursued, and I just want to indulge. But I'll always come back to you, she explained. What if I don't want you to come back? I won't share you. I won't stand by while you enjoy yourself. This isn't who I am. I won't wait as you test half the men in town. One date, maybe I could stomach, but twice? It's utter disrespect. Betrayal. Spending all night out? Partying? We're finished. That's not my purpose on this earth, he asserted. Wah, 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 she mocked, wiggling her fingers. You don't want to lose me. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Last week, Travis instructed his lawyer to prepare all the necessary documents, hoping they wouldn't be needed. He intended to call his wife Monday morning, but first he had to inform his daughters. When he called them that evening, neither Jackie, 21, nor Michelle, 19, appeared outwardly surprised. But upon speaking with both, he realized Jackie may have had an inkling. So you knew she was heading toward this disaster and didn't tell me? He exclaimed over the phone. You don't think I deserve to know what was happening? Please, Daddy. I was in a tough spot. Either way, one of you wouldn't have been pleased with me. Plus, it's her body. It's not yours to control. And if she wants to share it, stop. Don't go on, Travis interjected. I get that she's put you in a tough spot, but don't tell me she can do whatever she pleases with her body whenever she pleases, because this body belongs to her. Dolly's vows abolish discussion about her body. I understand, but... he started before she cut in. Damn, Daddy. I'm sorry, Daddy, she murmured. When Lauren came in at 2 a.m, Travis wasn't around. Despite being an hour earlier than her last outing, she seemed a bit more disheveled. Gabriel Esposito was a hefty, powerful man, possibly the strongest bed partner she'd ever had. By night's end, she could barely move, anticipating a couple of bruises from his grip by tomorrow. Overall, it was a fantastic night. She figured she could see Gabriel again sometime. Receiving divorce papers at her office on Monday morning left Lauren shocked and embarrassed. She broke into tears and rushed to the ladies' room, where Rose found her shortly after. You should have expected him to serve you. Rose remarked. He's trying to hurt you back. Men can be so childish, seeking retaliation. Give him a week to stew alone. He'll come crawling back. Pulling herself together, Lauren returned to her desk, grabbed her phone, and dialed her husband's number immediately. How could you do this to me in front of everyone at the office? I know you're hurting, but I deserve better, Trav, she practically yelled into the phone. After 23 years, don't I deserve more than you deciding on your own to open our marriage? If I'm not right for you, couldn't you have given me a heads up so we could part ways like adults? I don't want civility. I don't want a divorce. I still love you, she sobbed. I still love you, but every time you sleep with someone else, that love fades, he growled. My love isn't bottomless like yours. I always believed that. Maybe we were both wrong. Despite Travis's resistance, Lauren pursued divorce. Her lawyer arranged marriage counseling, with Travis unwillingly participating. As they entered the consultant's office, they were surprised to find Lillian Kamako waiting. Data on marriage counselors suggests most aim to reconcile divorcing couples, often with a bias favoring women, the consultant began. Let's start with the basics, Mrs. Wesley. Did you indeed inform your husband about your intention to date other men for a few years? Travis tried to hide his smirk. Lauren struggled to conceal her shock. Yes, I did, she replied quietly. That's what I want. I don't need him to do it for me. It won't affect our marriage. We'll conclude here, the consultant declared. Apologies for the inconvenience, Mrs. Wesley. I'll inform the judge and put an end to this charade. But, Lauren stuttered. Honey, if you thought for a moment that what you did to your husband would work with me, then you're delusional. You should be ashamed of yourself, but evidently you have no shame. Frankly, you disgust me, Miss Kamako said. During the following month, Lauren reached out to Travis multiple times daily while he settled into a small apartment nearby. He ignored her calls and texts. Eventually, she enlisted their daughter's help, prompting them to call him. Dad, you still love her. If she stopped seeing other men, would you reconsider? Michelle inquired during one of these conversations. She's still at it even after I filed? Travis asked, his voice trembling. Silence followed, confirming his suspicions. Michelle didn't call again or urge him to reconcile. Travis was taken aback by how swiftly news of his impending divorce spread, especially among single women. At work, several women expressed sympathy for his marital woes, including those who were mutual friends with him and his wife. Travis wasn't naive. He recognized that not all their condolences were purely compassionate. Connie Mayung, a longtime friend of his wife's, called to express her condolences and almost overtly offered him emotional support. Travis was surprised by her open flirtation, considering she had never shown interest in him throughout their acquaintance. I wouldn't pursue a friend's husband. That's just wrong, she assured him. But now that you're single, things are different. I'm interested in you. Surprised? I'm flattered, but I'm not officially single yet. Connie, we won't start anything until after the divorce. I may be old-fashioned, but I won't cheat, Travis insisted. You're such a Boy Scout, Trav. That's one of the things I admire about you. Can you at least set me up on a date once you're free? Connie requested. Of course, Travis agreed. But I don't want to disrupt your friendship with Lauren. You've been friends for years. I appreciate your consideration, but I shouldn't let an opportunity pass just because it's unconventional, Connie replied. Maybe I'll give you a call when I'm off the leash, Travis joked. Connie, an attractive Asian woman standing at 5 feet tall with a toned physique and waist-length black hair, was certainly appealing to Travis, who found it surprising that she showed interest in him. True to his word, Travis contacted Connie on the day his divorce was finalized. They went out for dinner and to a local jazz club that Saturday evening. Connie noticed Travis's unease and remarked on it. I feel like a clueless teenager, he confessed. It's been over 26 years since I went on a date with someone other than Lauren. Are you telling me the contraceptive in your wallet is the same one from your last date before Lauren? She teased. Should I have brought one? Damn, I didn't even think about it. Well, I'm definitely out of practice, Travis admitted. At the end of the night, Connie kissed him gently, leaving them both feeling content. Travis promised to call again. Removing his wedding ring on the day his divorce was finalized didn't seem significant to Travis, but apparently it was a big deal to single women. Several female coworkers noticed the absence of his ring and commented on it, leading to a noticeable increase in flirting in the office. This was uncharted territory for Travis, and one day during lunch, he confided in his best friend at work about the sudden attention. Wow, there are so many stunning women in this office. How did I not notice this before? Travis exclaimed. You, my friend, were the epitome of a henpecked man. Robert Ardito remarked. You were so head over heels for her that you didn't even see other women as attractive. Sure, she's beautiful, but you let her control you, and maybe that was part of the issue. She's always testing boundaries. There's value in that. And you were so conditioned, emitting such a vibe that not a single woman even glanced your way. In the initial month post-divorce, Travis went on 4 dates, 2 with Connie. While he hadn't yet slept with any of them, that wasn't his aim. By the second month, demand remained high, and he ended up sleeping with 2 women. Travis's daughters, who had been more in touch with their mother than him lately, repeatedly heard her claim that while she could attract any man effortlessly, their father struggled to find companionship, let alone a steady girlfriend. Feeling sorry for their father, they paid him a surprise visit one Saturday morning about 2 months after the divorce. Travis wasn't pleased about being awakened at 8:36, especially after entertaining his guest late the previous night. Sonia, a buxom 25-year-old, was the daughter of a friend in need of a reliable escort for her wedding. The evening went so well that they decided to continue it at Travis's apartment. Just as Sonia was asleep in his bed, Travis, clad in a robe, opened the door to find his daughters smiling with bags of breakfast goodies. "What's going on?" he asked, surprised as they entered. "Hi, Dad. Can your 2 favorite daughters join you for breakfast?" Jackie chirped as they unpacked the bags. After exchanging kisses on the cheek, Travis led them to the kitchen table. They were midway through the bagels when Sonia emerged from the bedroom in one of Travis's shirts, partially unbuttoned and likely nothing else. "Sorry, didn't know we had guests, baby," Sonia said. "Mom said you call the shots." Both girls blushed as Sonia poured herself coffee. No, Sonia, these are my daughters, Jackie and Michelle," Travis clarified, pointing to each. "We were having breakfast, bagels with salmon." Sonia giggled, causing her ample, braless bosom to jiggle. She brushed against Travis's arm and settled into a chair beside him. The 4 engaged in casual conversation until Jackie broached the topic of Travis's recent interactions with Lauren. His mood shifted, marking the first time he felt bothered in days. Until that moment, he believed it nearly impossible to be upset around Sonia, despite her being a bit too much for his 48-year-old self. "I have to admit, Dad, we thought you might be missing Mom already," Michelle remarked. "We know she misses you, but we thought when you were gone, she'd be living her best life. I know I was her anchor, though. She's been entertaining them 2 at a time in our old bed." "Dad," Jackie exclaimed as Sonia giggled and Michelle frowned. "She's not promiscuous, you know. Seriously, consider this for a moment. How many different guys has she slept with since we broke up? And those 2 I knew about before I left." Both girls blushed and cast their gaze downward. "Wow, if it's 2 guys a month for, 10 months? That's 20 different guys with 3 guys a month. 30 for me. That's a lot of guys," Sonia remarked. If looks could eliminate, Travis's daughters would have put Sonia 6 feet under in seconds. She was well aware of this. "Hey, don't blame me if a woman can't keep her legs shut," Sonia quipped. Children, let's not ruin my good weekend," Travis intervened. "Sorry," all 3 young women muttered simultaneously. "So, are you 2 an item?" Jackie asked Sonia quietly. "You don't look much older than me." "Your dad said we're the same age. But don't worry, I won't ever be your stepmother. We're just friends. He's a great guy. He was my date at the wedding reception last night, and he's kind of a hottie. Did I mention he's a great guy?" "Well, we can agree he's a great guy, though we know he can be a bit of an idiot at times," Jackie remarked. "And yeah, he's kind of attractive for someone old enough to be your dad." Now it was Sonia's turn to blush. Travis blushed too. "Hey, babe, remember we have lunch with the newlyweds' families at the hotel at noon? I need to shower and grab some clothes from my place before we go," Sonia reminded. Both daughters rolled their eyes at their father. "Mom, she's my age," Jackie informed her mother during lunch a few weeks later, and it didn't seem like a one-time thing. "They spent quite a while together. They enjoyed each other's company. I don't think he'll come crawling back to you anytime soon." "No, you just caught him on a good day. He probably helped a friend's kid and got lucky. She's probably a loose woman who will sleep with anyone." "Your dad's a great guy, but he's not a player," Jackie retorted. "And somewhere along the line, you decided it was all about you. Was it worth it?" For the first time, Lauren's face betrayed the strain of what she had to endure. From Rose's perspective, everything sounded much rosier than it actually was. She couldn't tell her daughter that the lovemaking was ordinary, but no, it wasn't worth it. Nor could she admit that she never imagined Travis doing anything other than moping over his beautiful ex-wife. She was so self-absorbed that she failed to realize a handsome, if not stunning, man with great qualities, intelligence, and a stable job could be highly desirable in the dating scene, not just for middle-aged women. She knew post-divorce Travis dated several women, including her old friend Connie, and now with some young, promiscuous woman the same age as their eldest daughter. Instead of wallowing at home, he went on dates like a single 20-year-old and garnered more attention than he deserved. When she discovered her friend was dating her ex, she kept it to herself, assuming it was out of pity. But when the second date happened, she confronted Connie privately, her voice noticeably raised. "I thought we were friends, Con," Lauren exclaimed. "You're supposed to have my back. Women need to support each other." "But he didn't hurt you, Lauren. He's a good guy. Amazing, actually. He's everything I look for in a man. Why shouldn't I date Trev? Women are lining up for him. He's prime dating material, and he's a true gentleman. Plus, he's great in bed. I'd go out with him anytime he asks. How could you push away such a catch?" Lauren stood in silence, gaping at her friend. She was starting to realize that her error was snowballing. She loves Travis and despises returning to an empty house each day, dreading sleeping alone at night. Travis, on the other hand, never envisioned his life becoming so eventful. He would have been content with his old mundane routine, yet, apart from that, life was treating him well. Work was fulfilling and his social life was vibrant. He enjoyed the company of women of various ages, with many of his dates leading to closeness. He wasn't actively seeking a long-term commitment, but he relished the variety. There was more to life than being married to a beautiful woman. Marla Goodling sported shoulder-length silver hair with streaks of purple, pulled back into a ponytail beneath her Chicago Cubs baseball cap. Her snug blue Cubs t-shirt accentuated her ample chest, while her light blue Levi's hugged her figure like those of a 20-year-old. Despite being 60 years old, seated in the left field bleachers at Wrigley Field, she garnered more than her fair share of attention. Among those admiring her was Travis Wesley, the ex-husband of one of Marla's longtime employees, Lauren Wesley. Travis and Marla attended a Cubs game as part of a weekend getaway to Chicago. Marla had worked alongside Lauren Wesley for over 15 years. I've met Travis at several company functions where he accompanied his then-wife, and I always found him to be handsome and pleasant, Marla reminisced. She knew that Travis and Lauren had divorced about 2 years ago, while Marla herself had been widowed for around 5 years. Her husband had passed away in a car accident. During this time, she had only been on one date, after which she decided to obtain Travis's phone number. Yes, Travis remembered her. He found it hard to forget a woman who exuded both elegance and beauty. He would be interested in having dinner with her. Absolutely, he agreed. This occurred several months prior to the present moment. Their initial date unfolded at a high-end restaurant, followed by a concert at the Philharmonic, with Marla providing tickets. The evening concluded with a kiss at her doorstep. Their second date involved a Saturday hike, during which Travis took intermittent breaks, prompting giggles from Marla. It turned out she and her late husband were avid hikers and climbers. Despite Travis's belief in his fitness, he discovered he was mistaken. He also learned of Marla's toned physique for her age and captivating gray eyes. The date culminated in tender lovemaking on Marla's living room rug following a passionate makeout session on her sofa. Her blend of sophistication and girl-next-door charm intrigued him. Marla enthusiastically agreed when Travis suggested a weekend of sightseeing in Chicago as their third date. On their first outing, Marla mentioned to Travis that she had no intention of informing Lauren about their relationship. While she wouldn't deny it if asked, she had no intention of broadcasting the fact. Marla also informed Travis that Lauren had informed her colleagues that she and Travis were divorcing due to irreconcilable differences. Travis reiterated the same story he had told others. Lauren had cheated on him with at least 2 other men, without delving into further detail. In the 2 years post-divorce, Travis has fostered several robust relationships and relished what he deems an exceptional bed life. His partners held him in high regard, with some aspiring to be more than just partners. While Travis aimed to rebuild trust in women and pursue marriage, Lauren had different intentions. As she had disclosed to her then-husband before their initial date, she sought only carnal gratification. Though still alluring to many, she wasn't seeking emotional connections like most of her companions. This fundamental contrast between the ex-partners posed an issue for Jackie, deeply involved in wedding preparations funded by her content father. When Lauren suggested to Jackie that both parents attend the wedding unaccompanied to ease tension, Jackie readily agreed and relayed the idea to her father over lunch that week. "Is this your brilliant idea, or your mother's?" Travis inquired sternly. I intend to bring a lady with me. I'm footing the bill for this affair, and I plan to enjoy it with my companion. Have you taken dance lessons as I have, specifically for my wedding? It's rather endearing. No buts, Jackie. She's evidently trying to pressure me, acting selfishly to sway the situation in her favor. I'm sorry, but I won't attend my daughter's wedding without a date. If you lack the courage to inform her, then I certainly will. She can come alone or with a companion of her choice. I'll bring mine, Travis asserted. Understood, Dad. I'll talk to her. I appreciate your perspective and am eager to see you dance, but could you perhaps bring someone closer to your age? I can accommodate that, but do watch Sonia and me dance. Travis beamed, receiving an equally wide smile in return. Travis escorted Connie Mayong to the wedding, despite their disagreement over the sea green dress he purchased for her. Travis reasoned that as the father of the bride, clad in a tuxedo, she required a new dress, which he gladly financed. And I'm aware it necessitates shoes, he added with a grin. Walking his eldest daughter down the aisle proved to be one of the most bittersweet experiences for Travis. It was everything other fathers had described, yet he acknowledged it was a wonderful day. He, Connie, and his children reveled in the festivities, dancing late into the night. The only discordant moment arose when his ex-wife arrived with her own date. While Travis remained indifferent, the man spent much of the wedding leering at Travis, and later, at several women, behaving like a boorish drunk. Upon Jackie's request, Lauren swiftly escorted the man out, visibly embarrassed. In a brief encounter in the restroom, Lauren confronted Connie, accusing her of stealing her man. Connie calmly denied the accusation, stating Travis had divorced Lauren before they began dating. Lauren fell silent, allowing Connie to exit without further altercation, unwilling to mar the family's special day. A few months after the wedding, Michelle visited her father and appeared uneasy. Travis observed her for a moment before probing, "Okay, Mitch, what's up?" "You've seemed kinda on edge all evening." Michelle blushed deeply and began to stammer. Travis sensed something was amiss. Dad, you know Mom sometimes talks about reconciling with you, about winning you back once she stops seeing other guys. Did you two, have any closeness or anything?" she asked. "My personal life isn't your concern, young lady," Travis snapped. "But no, I didn't sleep with your mother." "And what?" "Well, the thing is, she has an STD, Dad. I overheard her conversation with her friends, and she mentioned having syphilis," Michelle disclosed quietly, avoiding her father's gaze. Travis looked surprised, then saddened as Michelle watched him from the corner of her eye. "I guess you're telling me because you're worried about me," Travis said. "But it's standard protocol to inform all potential partners about the disease so they can get tested." "I didn't know that. I was just concerned about you, Dad," she replied. "I know Mom is still seeing other people. Some of my friends warned me that she's quite promiscuous. It's always awkward when a friend tells you your mom isn't perfect." A few days later, Travis received an unsettling call from Marla. He realized she shared Michelle's concerns, likely also worrying about her own health. "If you're wondering whether I slept with my ex, the answer is a resounding no," Travis assured. "Believe me, Marla, I understand your worry, but I can't control my ex's actions." "Scandal is the kindest word I've heard about her lately," Marla remarked. In recent months, her extracurricular activities had become sideline gossip. "Seems the longer she's single, the more she lets her guard down." Lauren leveraged her STD as leverage to win Travis back. Satisfied with her past experiences, 6 months after being declared cured, she plotted her reunion. She still harbored some resentment toward Travis for initiating their divorce, which wasn't her original intent. She assumed he wouldn't dare divorce someone like her, thinking it unlikely he'd find someone of her caliber. Her plan might have succeeded if other women hadn't pursued Travis. Confident in her allure, she couldn't fathom Travis being as drawn to others. "I know he's great, but can't these women see he's not on my level?" she lamented to Rose one evening as they sipped margaritas, awaiting their dates. Rose encouraged her friend's lifestyle, underestimating Travis's depth. Expecting Travis to sulk while she enjoyed herself, Lauren and Rose kept tabs on him post-ultimatum, only to find his post-divorce bed life rivaled hers. If Lauren were honest, she might admit her ex-husband's emotional fulfillment seemed superior. While Travis genuinely enjoyed dates, Lauren confined herself to her circle, though without closeness. After her STD scare, she noticed a prolonged lull. Maybe it was time for her and Travis to reunite, she mused. Travis was taken aback by the voice on the other end of the line. He hadn't spoken to his ex-wife in almost 2 years. One of his daughters must have given her his new cell phone number. While he hadn't forbidden them from doing so, He made it clear he saw no need for direct communication with her again. "Hi, Trev," she cooed in her sweetest tone. "I think it's time for us to talk." "And I thought we agreed not to talk until Mikhail got married. But since that hasn't happened yet, maybe we'll go back to silence," Travis replied. "Still the same Travis, still trying to deny that you love me. But deep down, you know you want me back," she persisted. "Still the same Lauren," he retorted. "You still think everything revolves around you. Look, Trav, I know you're still angry with me, but I truly love you. Maybe I should have just cheated on you and kept it hidden, but that would have been deceitful," she admitted. "It was still cheating, Lauren. Just because you told me you were going to do it doesn't make it any less real. You did it because you thought I'd never leave you. Do you think so little of me?" Travis said. "I know you think you're a 10, hell a 12, but beyond that, you're beautiful. I don't need to live in your shadow. The past few years have shown me I'm more than just the husband of a beautiful woman. Other women want what I have to offer and are willing to reciprocate emotionally. My recent years have been wonderful. Why would I want to date a selfish woman again who clearly doesn't respect me and no matter what she says, doesn't love me the way I loved her?" Loved in the past tense, he concluded. After hanging up, Travis turned to the woman beside him. "Ready for round 2? He asked Sonia. Sonia eventually found her soulmate and married him, but Connie and Marla continued their relationship with Travis. He loved both of them in his own way, but never remarried. They too loved him in their own way, and both women accepted this dynamic. Several years later, both were invited to his second daughter, Michelle's wedding. This displeased Lauren, who didn't invite her boyfriend. She complained to her daughter, but Michelle didn't sympathize. "After me, Jackie, and her family, Connie and Marla are the 2 closest people in Dad's life," Michelle replied. "They love him for who he is and prioritize him over their own selfish interests, which not everyone can say about themselves. He was yours, and you left him for more lovemaking. Why? Simply because you feared aging and thought he had no other options, that he'd never leave you, not for anyone or anything." Travis was content with his life, even if it wasn't his first choice. He left a situation he deemed unacceptable. Lauren's life wasn't one of loneliness and regret. After all, she was still attractive, and beautiful women often just need to show up for men to take notice. Lauren was frequently approached and had several short-term relationships. However, none of them blossomed into anything lasting. Reflecting on her choices, Lauren regretted telling her then-husband she was leaving him, still unable to accept that Travis had given up on her so easily. How could she have misjudged the situation so severely? She was a 12 out of 10, but he was only a 6. It shouldn't have ended this way.